Good evening, everyone. I wanted to kind of go over a couple things here with you, just kind of briefly to explain a little bit about the templates. You'll notice, or you should notice, that in every chapter in the first part of the book, so that's the numbered chapters, starting with the introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, 4, 5, so on, they all have these, what the authors call templates in them. And what you have on screen here in front of you is just a PDF of a sample of templates. You can go out and Google this. They say, I say templates, and you can get, hundreds of search result hits. And basically, what these are a tool for us to be able to help make our writing a little bit easier, a little bit more smooth, and help with things such as introducing others' points of views, agreeing and disagreeing with others' points of views, um, helping transition from paragraph to paragraph or idea or topic to topic, those sorts of things. So in the introduction, there is a really, really good, they call it the template of all templates, and this is on page 11 in your book if you have the fourth edition of They Say, I Say, with readings by Graff, Birkenstein, and Durst. On page 11 is the template of templates, and I just want to read this one to you, and then I'll post what you're seeing on the screen here up on uh, Canvas, but I'd like for you all to try to find some other resources that have maybe even more templates in them than this. This is a 2-page one here. It just gives you a few examples from each category. So here's some very basic templates here for introducing standard views. Americans today tend to believe that. These can be helpful for us to try to avoid things such as generalizations, sweeping generalizations, making blanket statements by saying such things as all Americans believe. We can't say that. Americans today tend to believe that blank, and then you would fill it in. This is a template. This would be one standard template for you to use to kind of introduce a standard view on any given topic. Okay. Down a couple of, so there are some that I think are going to be helpful for you now, because now you're going to be moving into chapters 2 and 3 of the book in week 2, and you're going to be looking at how to write a summary and how to introduce quotations, and those kind of things. But these can be helpful for that. So here's an example. X acknowledges that blank, or X agreed that blank. Okay. And then the next one for introducing quotations, and then the one below that explaining quotations. These can be helpful whenever you're being asked to implement or insert a quotation into your first writing assignment. So you'll see in one of the videos I recorded explaining the process of quoting that there's this term called a hit and run quote, where oftentimes students will be asked to insert a quotation or 2 quotations into a writing assignment, and they just kind of go out and find a quotation and kind of drop it into the paper wherever it seems like it might fit. Well, this idea of that's what the authors refer to as a hit and run quote, where you're talking about something or writing about something, and then you insert a quote from somebody, and then you just move on from that, and you don't give it kind of any time spent on the quote. So this idea of framing the quote with something before and something after, that's what these templates here that are listed below. Introducing quote, for instance, as the prominent philosopher X puts it, and then the quotation blank, and then explaining quotations. Basically, X is saying blank. Okay, so you're introducing the quote itself, and then explaining it. And again, the other video I posted for this week gets into that more in detail. But I wanted to to illustrate how the templates can be useful for that type of work here. So on page 11, I'm going to read this template of templates to you. In recent discussions of blank, a controversial issue has been whether blank. On the one hand, some argue that blank. From this perspective, blank. On the other hand, however, others argue that blank. In other words, or in the words of blank, one of this view's main proponents, blank. That would be a quotation. According to this view, blank. In sum, then, the issue is whether blank or blank. My own view is that blank. Though I concede that blank, I still maintain that blank. For example, blank. Although some might object that blank, I would reply that blank. The issue is important because blank. That is the template of templates found again on page 11 in the textbook. And basically what you would do with this then is fill in your own arguments here using this template. This is the biggest template that's in the textbook here, and that's why they call it the template of templates. But you can use this one, give it a shot, try to incorporate it into your writing. I think it's a very, very good tool to use because if you can see, it kind of shows that kind of back and forth between they say this, I say this. So this is the issue, and then my view is this. Okay. So remember that this writing is to be a back and forth, where within a conversation, a typical conversation, a good conversation is two people or more than two people having conversations, exchanging information, language, body language. So it's a back and forth of information exchange. That's really what this writing process, as illustrated by Graff and others, want us to keep in mind as we are writing using these templates. Okay, that is all I'm going to say for now. Again, if you have any questions about the paper, you can start by posting them in the discussion for the weekly updates or check-ins. Let me know how things are going in terms of the process of writing the paper, pulling your information together, what you're thinking in terms of a thesis statement and those other things. But remember to use these templates. Okay, that is it. Have a good week, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care.